So what I'm going to do is take a damp towel, a dry towel, and then a nice fluffy finishing towel, and I'm going to use the dry towel first for the application. I'm not going to spray directly on the paint. I'm going to spray onto the towel first, work it into the paint to remove those spots, and work it into the spots where you can see and really rub into it and let it eat away at the spot. And then take your damp towel and just kind of rinse the area. Then take your nice fluffy towel and you can dry the area a little bit more. And there we go. That actually did a great job of removing that water spot. Awesome. I see a little ring right there. And I think some of that might just have to be polished out. I'm going to hit it again and just concentrate on that. Just gently with no pressure, just enough to work the product. And then rinse it with the damp rag. And then the nice fluffy towel.
Might be an etching.
Yeah, that's etched, but at least we got the majority of it out, so that looks much better. So let's do this section here. There were some light water spots that need to be removed. And just don't let this stuff dry. Work it in, but don't let it dry on the paint. Nice. All right, that looks great. That removed all those spots. The paint looks super crystal clear now. Awesome. All right, so we'll repeat that all around the vehicle on those heavier sections. It's mostly on the top surfaces, not so much on the trunk. I mean, not so much on the trunk. The roof here isn't that bad. We do have some spots on the trunk. Otherwise, not bad at all. It's coming out. So, another good product to use for water spots. We've used all sorts of different products, but our favorites are the W9 and Last Coat Clear SR. This stuff is really strong. I'm almost out of it. I need to get some more. But this stuff is, I think, a little bit stronger. Maybe just a different formulation. It's very, very strong stuff. But it is awesome for removing heavy-duty water spots. Clear, what? Remember when we lost Billy? All right, guys, this is looking beautiful. Those are actually chips. Those aren't etchings, those are chips there. But it got rid of all the water spots. Now what you see is just a little bit of residue. Now the only con I see with this stuff is it is greasy. It will leave a residue, but it's not supposed to be the type of residue that affects coatings or waxes or sealants or anything like that. We're going to use Gyeon Can Coat to protect it. But you don't need to do an IPA wipe down. Now you may be thinking, well, don't you want to get rid of that? Yes, you do. You just use multiple towels. We're going to go over it again. So that's the key to this. The pros to this is that it is a super long working time. It's a very, very fine polish, but I mean, just paired with the black pad, look how well it jeweled up the paint. And there's like no swirls in this paint anyway. Whoever owned it before, or you know, if he's owned it for a long time, took care of it. Really, really did. It looks beautiful. So that's just residue that you see there. So use multiple towels and don't use a lot of this stuff. Once you have, the pad primed, I would put only 4 pea-sized drops to start. Don't over prime your pad. Just put 4 pea-sized drops and then 2 pea-sized drops for every panel, because it's very greasy. It goes a long way, but it does not have any fillers. That's what it's designed to do. So I have talked to other detailers, well-known detailers, and they say you do not need an IPA after you use this if you're going to use a ceramic coating. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Very, very happy with the results. Of course, again, we just have to use extra towels to remove a little bit of that residue, but it'll come off. Okay, now we just did the trunk here. Another thing that just came to mind, actually my wife just brought it up, is humidity. The polish may not like humidity. So that just could be a variable that is, added into this equation with polishing, and especially a polish like this that is a jeweling polish and a finishing polish. It's designed for finicky paint. This isn't finicky paint necessarily, but, it is going to still leave the oils behind. Now some may say, oh, the oils are the fillers. No, not necessarily. The oils are not necessarily the fillers. The oils can actually evaporate and leave the true finish. So that's not necessarily true. Maybe in older products, but not in new product technology. That's not the case. Oh, that looks much better. There's still a little bit of residue here, but we're going to remove the residue as much as possible with multiple towels. But I definitely think it's the humidity in here. Even though we have our AC going and everything, the humidity level is still pretty high. So that could have an impact. If you're not having problems with this, maybe you're in a cooler temperature climate, or maybe it's not as humid. There's all sorts of different variables. The finish it produces is amazing. It's just the wiping off is a little problematic with the Rupes Pure. That's the only problem I'm having. But look at that. Whoa, that is beautiful. All the water spots are gone. It even took care of some of the etching. I don't see any etching at all, actually. It looks great. Now, I do see a difference here. There's one little middle section that wasn't hit. I don't know if it'll show up on camera or not, but it's just there's this little middle section here. You can kind of see where the polish residue is, where the corners. And there's like a little section in the middle here because somebody has T-Rex arms and couldn't reach. So I'm going to polish this little middle section, but you can see it. You can actually see the difference in it. So, okay, let's get that done. So the Gyeon's glass sealant is all cured on here. It's all dried. I put 2 coats. I applied 1 coat, let it dry, and then you put another coat right over it without wiping it off. That's, you know, how you can do that. You can do the same thing with Rain-X. This is basically that type of a product, just a little bit stronger. So I have a damp towel. I completely soaked it, wrung it out so it's damp, and then a dry towel. So we use the damp towel first, and this removes that top, you know, layer of the cured glass sealant. And again, you do the same thing with Rain-X, and then a dry towel, and it buffs away any of the residue, and it should leave it completely streak free. You don't need to use glass cleaner, and if you still see it a little smeary, just go back over it with a wet towel, and go back over it with a dry towel. It'll clear right up. And this is not removing the sealant. The sealant's already cured. It's already good to go. There we go. Perfect. All right, the beamer is looking beautiful. Look how glossy. Awesome. All right, did a great job. Now I just used the Gyeon's glass sealant on the windshield, so I'm letting that dry. And all the rest of the vehicle has been sealed with can coat. It is looking beautiful. All the wheels and tires are done. All the chrome pieces are done. All the water spots are removed. And the paint is looking incredibly glossy. Yep, very, very happy with that. All right, this turned out great. G-Technic W9 water spot remover to the rescue for this one. It wasn't horrible water spots. A lot of them came out with the wash, and the rest of them were removed with that. And there are some minor etchings here that they're just not going to be removed. There's a little bit of etching there, really hard to pick up on the camera. And there's like a little spot there, barely noticeable. It's really hard to pick up. And that's pretty much it as far as etching. The rest of it looks gorgeous. All right, guys, the beamer is done. It is looking beautiful. Now, this wasn't a huge turnover. The water spots were minor. They were easily removed, and the vehicle looks beautiful now. This thing had, I mean, barely any swirls on it at all. So the owner or previous owners, whoever had it before, really did a good job of taking care of this thing. It is beautiful. So now the paint is looking gorgeous. It is completely water spot free now and sealed in with Gyeon can coat. So as always, guys, if you're interested in any of the products that you saw us use in today's video, check out the links down below. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. As usual, if you haven't subscribed, please do, and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great week. Take care.